Welcome back to Couch to Coders. In this module, we are going to learn a new keyword called order by. Our first lesson in this module will be an order by example where I will explain what order by is, show you a little toy example in the PowerPoint, and then also show you an example in BigQuery console. The second lesson will be an order by practice where you have a chance to do a couple examples on your own. For time budgeting, our first lesson should take about 10 minutes. And the second one, it's 8 minutes of recorded content, so give yourself maybe an extra 5 minutes so that you can actually write your query. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our order by example, where we will be introducing the order by keyword. So let's just review everything that we've gone over up until this point. We know that select chooses the columns we want from a table. From tells BigQuery what table source, what data source are we using, and limit reduces how many rows we want to see. And we use limit when we're exploring data to make sure we're not using and wasting a lot of our memory. Previous lesson sequence, we learned about distinct. And the big thing with distinct is it only gives you unique values, and to remember that distinct kills duplicates. So our new keyword is order by. Order by tells BigQuery how to sort your data. So you can sort by one column or multiple, and you can assign for each column to either be an ascending from small to big, A to Z, or descending, big to small, Z to A. And let's go over a toy example in the PowerPoint, and then we'll open up BigQuery and demo a live example. So like I said, we can order our data by column and specify how we would like it to be sorted. In our example table, we have 3 columns. We have name, species, and color. Suppose we wanted to order by one column increasing. How we would write that in our BigQuery code is we would say select name, species, so only pull these 2 column names from our example table and order by name. The default in BigQuery is to go from small to big, so you don't have to specify if you don't want to. If you would like to specify that it's going from small to big, you write ASC, which is shorthand for ascending. So if this was my SQL code, this would return the 2 columns, name and species, and it would put the name in alphabetical order. So we see we have name, species, and they're in alphabetical order, B, J, K, M. Our second example is to order by 2 columns in decreasing sequence. So we're going to use the same select statement. We're going to take name, species from our example table, and then first we're going to order by species, descending, which is Z to A, and then it'll order by name, from A to Z. So if you have multiple species, first that'll get sorted, then it'll look at name and then decide, okay, first species is lined up, now I look at my name and I line that up. So think about what you expect the output to be, pause the video, look at the table, and then kind of draw out what you think is going to happen, and that'll kind of help you get more of a flavor for how the order by works. So the order by would pull the name and species. First, we order by species. So we have prince, dog, dog, cat, and this is from Z to A. So that's why P is first and C is last. You see that we have 2 dogs. Since we have 2 dogs, we need to look at name to decide who goes in front of the other. And since we want name to be A to Z, Bo goes in front of Milo. Now that we've reviewed this toy example, I'm going to open up BigQuery and show you what it looks like in the console. So for example 4, we're going to use what we did in example 3. That was select distinct vendor ID and rate code. And then we're going to sort our data by rate code. First we'll do small to big, ascending, then we'll do big to small, descending, and then I'll show you a shortcut that you can use. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to type select rate code and vendor ID from where? From my taxi data. And then I'm going to sort order by rate code. And I can just leave it like this and it will sort small to big, or I could type ASC, either one. And then I'm going to put a limit because I don't want to waste all my data. So let's see what we get. So I see I have rate code 1 and then I have vendor ID. Since we didn't sort by vendor ID, this is just kind of random, however BigQuery decided to pull it. Let's try this again, sorting rate code from big to small or descending. Simple. I just changed this to DESC, descending. And this will put the biggest rate codes up on the top. 99, and then it looks like these are all associated with vendor ID 1. I could also do comma vendor ID descending, so then I'll put the biggest vendor on top. So now I have rate code 99, which we know that's the highest rate code, and we only have 2 vendor IDs in this data. That's what we found out last time, 1 and 2. So when I sorted by vendor ID, BigQuery put all of the 2s up front on top of the 1s. When you're sorting a lot of different columns in BigQuery, it can get really tedious typing out the column names. BigQuery has a shortcut where we can sort by the column positions. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just say I wanted to order by rate code. I could type 1 instead of the name rate code. And I know that 1 is going to be rate code because rate code is the first column that I'm selecting in my select statement. So let's try this. And let's see. There we go. So I sorted by 1 and it gave me the smallest rate code up front. And again, vendor ID is not sorted. And I can do this the same way as before. Suppose I wanted to do 1 descending and 2 descending. I separate these by a comma. And so first, sort column 1 descending, then sort column 2 descending. Voila. A mistake that a lot of people make, and I've done myself, is sometimes I just do it like this. And since I put the DESC, in my mind, it's just like, oh, it's going to sort everything descending. No, BigQuery for each column, either position or name that you put, has its own ascending order. And the default is always from small to big. So unless you put DEC for each one, it's only going to sort the ones that you've specified. So if I did this, what's going to happen here is that column 1, rate code, is going to go small to big, and then column 2, vendor ID, is going to go from big to small. And there you go. Let's review everything we just covered. First, we learned what an order by statement was, and we completed a baby example in the PowerPoint. Then we moved directly into the BigQuery console and we did a live demo practice problem sorting our data from ascending, A to Z, and descending, Z to A. And then we also learned the BigQuery shortcut on how to sort by column name and the column position. So with that wraps up this lesson. In our next lesson, we are going to do a hands-on example with order by, and we're also going to start pulling in some of the other keywords that we've been using. See you then. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would be so appreciative if you could like the video and subscribe to help me create more content for you. Thank you.